What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about how people got to other places. So, evidence shows we originated in Africa. That's where the earliest humanoid skeletons have been found, which means that's where like the earliest skeletons have been found. If you want to know how we know how old skeletons are, it's like carbon dating. It's like a different topic, but basically we originated in Africa from uh, a common confusion is people think we're like from chimpanzees, like we evolved from chimpanzees. Not quite. We shared the same common ancestors, but we didn't evolve directly from chimpanzees, if you know what I mean. It's like, think about it like this. There's a dad, and he has two kids, and one kid is like, I don't know, say this dad's like 80, one kid is like, I don't know, 50, and the other kid is like 20. We're like those kids that are 20. Just because that other kid is older than us doesn't mean that he's actually like our ancestor. Um, so that's kind of like, it's not a very good analogy, but like you get the idea. We didn't evolve from chimpanzees. We have the same common ancestors. Okay, so the first thing we discovered that allowed us to move beyond Africa was fire. With fire, it was incredible. We could firstly cook our food, which allowed our stomachs to get smaller, brains to grow bigger, because uh, cooking food, it releases more nutrients as well as killing bacteria. It kills bacteria. So that's one good thing about fire. Another thing is it kept us warm, which allowed us to travel farther north. So say this is Africa. Oh my god. 1 second. So say this is Africa. Yes. Oh, it has a little thingy here, doesn't it? Yeah, like that. Okay, so that's our really nice Africa, right? So now what basically happened is, say humans started here. I don't really know if humans started there, but let's just say they did. Okay? Then what happened is, as we discovered fire, we began to move farther north and, well, farther south. Because as you probably know, the farther north or south you go from the equator, which is a long line through like the middle of the world, the farther north or south you go, the colder it gets. And since we were used to the hot climate, we didn't have what it takes to survive farther north. But fire gave us that ability. So here's where humans kind of begin to drift apart into different tribes. We basically get separated. So if Europe is up here, like that, we basically traveled up here, and then the group here stayed here, the group here stayed here, and you can't really see that. Okay, so the group up there kind of stayed there for a while. The group down here stayed there. So everyone began to kind of diverge from each other, and that's why we have people of different skin colors. That's why it's not all one skin color. Nobody blended. That's why we have separate skin colors, because we began to evolve to adapt to our natural habitats. Because in Africa, it's really hot. You get a lot of sunlight. So we developed dark skin because it protects you from all the ultraviolet rays better. Ultraviolet rays, it's good for you. It can give you vitamin D, but too much can cause problems like skin cancer and stuff like that. And farther north, where it was cold, we developed things like what we not things like we developed white skin, because that absorbs the ultraviolet rays better. And since they don't get a lot of sunlight up there, it was good because we got to get that vitamin D. Places in between, they India. I'm from India. I have not quite completely dark, but not quite white. Places in between. It depends on where you came from. Right? So that's how humans got from here to here. Got to from the from Africa to the north. So now this raises the question. We know before Columbus, and if you want to count Eric the Red, I think, uh, those guys got to America. They were the first Europeans to get to America, the first from the east to get to America. How, if we all originated in Africa, how did people get to America? You know, there were natives there, living there before Columbus came and like pillaged everything. I might do a video on that later. But Columbus basically came, he took everything. There was so there was nothing left. Well, there was stuff left, but there were people there. That's the point. There were people there before Columbus came. How did they get there? Well, there's this funny thing called the Ice Age, and what the Ice Age does is the Earth freezes very cold, all over glaciers form. Like if normally it's like cold only up here, the cold spread like all the way down here. It was icy all over. You know, it gets very cold during the Ice Ages. And that basically made everything freeze. The water froze. So when the water froze, there was less liquid water and more ice. So two things happened. Firstly, say this is Australia. Oh, wait, hold on. I can draw a better Australia. There we go. That's more like Australia. So Australia, what happened? It's not that close to Africa, but you kind of get the idea. There are a bunch of islands around here as well. Okay? So what happened was the sea level lowered, so people were able to actually swim across and get to these islands. And that's how natives got to Australia and New Guinea and New Zealand and those little islands. But to get to America, it was different. Like, the sea levels didn't lower so much that the whole Pacific Ocean and Atlantic disappeared. No, that's not quite. So instead what happened is up here, everything froze. All the water froze. So people, if this is North America, there we go. That's a nice North America. Okay, so if that's North America, what happened is everything like around here, everything around like up here, it froze, and that basically allowed people to walk from here to here. And later, when the Ice Age ended, it melted again, so people couldn't get across anymore. That's how people got like everywhere. First they used fire, then they used the Ice Age to get to those places. It was an interesting discussion I was having with my friend this morning. Also, you might think like I asked him the question like, how did people get everywhere? And he said Pangaea. If you don't know what Pangaea is, basically the continents, they're moving on these things called tectonic plates. I'll explain in a video later maybe. On these things called tectonic plates. So they're moving away from each other and towards each other in different directions. And at one point, they all used to be actually one big supercontinent. And scientists call that Pangaea. So basically what he was thinking was all the humans, they originated on Pangaea. And then as the tectonic plates started spreading, different people got stuck on different continents. Not quite. As I explained earlier, there's a thing called carbon dating, and this can give you the exact age of something, you know? It's found the earliest humanoid fossils are about 1 million years old. Pangaea existed about 65 million years ago, so there's no way humans could have existed on Pangaea. Not 65 million, it was, I'm not sure. Earlier than that, maybe. But, and we know that because we find fossils dating around that age, and we find those fossils in, like, Africa and North America, which are totally far from each other. but it's totally possible if there's a thing called if Pangaea was a thing, because then they like broke apart and earlier animals like lived together, but then as the continents separated, different like hordes of the animals got stuck on their separate continents. So that's kind of how that's how we know Pangaea existed and how and that it existed so long ago. Okay, yeah. So that's the end of the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe, hit the like button. If you want to see something specifically, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.